Alright, just gonna make some biscuits, some homemade biscuits, and some chocolate gravy. So I'm first gonna start off with 2 cups of flour, and I'm gonna sift it. This is just all-purpose flour. You can use White Lily, I just don't have any. I think White Lily is the preferred flour choice because it's self-rising, but it's got some of these additives in it, but we're gonna try to make it without, just to see if it can be done. So there's 2 cups of flour in here. Alright, so I'm gonna come in with some baking soda. This is gonna be a half of a teaspoon. This is again because it's just all-purpose, so we need something to get these to rise. And then I've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Teaspoon of salt. Give these dry ingredients a mix. Alright, next step, what I'm going to do, grate some butter. This is just 1 stick of butter. Alright, so I almost got this full stick of butter grated. Before I finish this off, I'm just gonna butter the pan. It's just a half baking sheet. And I'll finish grating this last little bit of butter. Alright, I got this stick of butter grated. There's just a little bit that wasn't able to be grated, but what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put that in and just kind of work it with your hands. And then I'm just kind of squeezing the butter in between my fingers with the flour, just trying to incorporate the flour, break down the butter just into some smaller little pieces. Hopefully so the butter just kind of works into almost little pea type sizes, just breaks down. So check in here in a few minutes. Most of the butter is pretty much broken down. There's some bigger pieces of butter, like that's probably about the biggest piece, but I think that should be okay. So what I'll do now is I'll just make a little well here. I've got just a cup of milk. You could use regular milk or buttermilk. Just gonna go ahead and add the whole thing in, and then you can do this with the whisk or another kitchen utensil. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it with my hand, just almost like a paddle, and just slowly try to work this milk kind of softly in. This is, once you add the milk in, that's about the point where you want to try and work it the least, really, just so that everything kind of comes together here. Alright, so I got the biscuits. Really, everything that's in the biscuit dough just kind of worked together pretty minimally. I've got a little bit of mess on my hands and in the bowl. You can see it's not really just like a homogeneous texture. It's a little rough, but it's still wet. So what I'll do from here is I will go ahead and put a little bit of flour down on the surface, get the biscuits on top of that, and then kind of just shape them into an even level, and then I will go ahead and cut the biscuits out and put them on the pan. So there's just a little flour to dust the biscuits on the bottom. Try and get that all out there. And then I'll take a little more flour. Try and dust that on top. And then I'm just gonna try and work this dough about the least amount I can, but I'm just gonna work this out probably about to an inch high or so. So I got the biscuit dough here. Just wash my hands. I got just something to cut the biscuits out. Just got a whiskey glass just because it's got a straight, it doesn't have like a tapered cut to it, so it should just cut directly down into the biscuits. And what I'll do here is I'll just cut straight down. And what I'm going to do is take the first biscuits that I cut, I just took a little bit of that dough around, This one doesn't really want to stay together. Probably could have worked it just a little bit more, but what I'll do is just try and fix it after I cut it out. And then I'm just gonna lay it down on the pan. I'm just gonna do the same with this other biscuit dough. Probably needed just a little bit more flour on the bottom side, but that's okay. As long as you're just being gentle with them. And then I'm gonna place them decently close together. I'm just going to take all of this, take a little bit of excess flour over here, sprinkle it down. I'm just gonna put the wet side down and then just press this out again. Try and get approximately the same thickness. And then I'll come in with the whatever I was cutting with before. And this last little biscuit, let's just see if I can't just work one into a ball. So it might be a little bigger than the rest. And then additionally, as I've got the biscuits on the pan, what I'm going to do is I made these first, so what I'm going to do is just set them aside, let them rest while I get everything else cleaned up and then get the stuff for the gravy started. Alright, so I got the chocolate gravy here just in the pan, just getting it ready. Got a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, a half a cup of flour. I just dumped everything just directly into the pot itself. I don't have the heat on yet, but I'm just gonna mix all the dry ingredients together. Okay, and then I'm also gonna pop the biscuits in right now. I've got the oven going at 450, and then I'm just gonna set a timer for 15 minutes. Actually, I'm gonna set a timer for 12 and check them at 12 and see if they still need the additional time. And what I'll do is I'll turn the heat on just about a medium. I've got 2 cups of regular milk here, and then I'm just gonna pour this in while it's still cold and mix everything together. And just continue to mix. You can kind of get some of the dry mix up off the bottom of the pan, just incorporate that into the liquid mix, and then just slowly heat this up, and then as it heats up it should thicken with the flour. This should cook for probably about I think it's somewhere around 8 to 12 minutes or so. Just sitting here constantly stirring basically until it comes up to temp. So I just added just another half a cup of milk. I just took it off the heat just because everything's pretty much as thick as I want it to be right now. I'm just gonna let this sit until the biscuits are ready. So that took probably about 10 minutes, it seems like, so that's about all you need. So these biscuits have probably been in here for about 13 minutes or so. I'm just gonna check them. They seem like they're pretty much done. They got a little browning on the bottom and browning on the top, so I think these ones should be good to go. So I'll go ahead and pull them out. Take just a little bit of butter. This is a little easier if you got a whole stick, but just while these are still hot, I'll just get a little butter just right on top. And just repeat that just for all of them. Look like they turned out pretty good, nice and kind of airy, pretty yellow from the butter it appears. Get a little taste. Pretty good. And the bottom is nice and brown. Same with the top. So I'll go ahead and just serve these. You just get your chocolate gravy. I like to open biscuits up. And then just put a little gravy over top. Chocolate sauce, gravy, whatever. And then I'm gonna put another one on there. There you go. There's a plate of homemade biscuits with chocolate gravy. Go ahead and enjoy that, guys.